Good morning. Good morning. Not a lot of sleep last night, but it's chill. It's currently what 7:30 in the morning. Nothing to do but to get to it. I realized. Oh, cold start, by the way. I figured out the thing about this, the Magic John phone mount, by the way. It's just because my phone case doesn't have it doesn't have that little magnet strip yet, or whatever. Not yet, but it doesn't have it. So I just have to take off my phone case when I want to use it. For now, I've honestly been spending so much money recently just on okay, bluntly speaking, I don't know whether to call it for fun or as an investment, because I've always wanted to do content creation full time regardless of the genre, I actually run, or back in the day before my first camera got yoinked, I was doing a lot of automotive and motorsport photography. So I'd oftentimes go to other car events, but I primarily wanted to focus on the track. And I guess when I was peaking in late, or in terms of activity in late 2024, unfortunately my camera got yoinked, and that really sucked. And I was actually out of commission basically until literally last week. No, this week I finally had enough money to buy a camera, like a decent camera. Because before I was shooting on an A6300, which is essentially an older crop sensor mirrorless camera, and I made the jump to what I currently shoot on now, which is an A9. But yeah, I'm trying to get back into the flow now. It's a lot easier considering I live a lot closer to LA than I once was. I used to live near Death Valley, and back then content creation was honestly super rough, but Willow Springs was only an hour away, so that was super cool. And I could honestly hit it up quite frequently if I wanted to, but I ended up only shooting there twice. I think three times. Yeah. When I lost everything like that, honestly the biggest bummer was my SSD with all my previous work, bluntly speaking, the only thing I have saved from back then are the photos I had sent out to clients, which are high resolution JPEGs, but not the RAWs or any files like that. You know what I'm saying? So that really sucked. The reason why I guess I struggle to call it an investment at the moment is simply just because I think I lack the confidence to brand myself as a true content creator, especially as I'm still trying to hammer out this type of content. But it's chill. I'm pretty sure it just come over time. I mean, I made videos on a different YouTube channel back then with a couple of buddies, but we definitely, and rather, I do want to say I did learn a lot from that, because I was the main editor for the long form content, and so that's why I can do simple stuff on video editing software pretty easily, I also wanted to actually bring up when I'm competing. I've never competed before, but I officially have signed up for, I think it's called Omni Infinite, in mid-November. I'm super hyped because I've honestly been delaying it for years. Early on in my lifting career, I decided I wanted to compete, And right after that, powerlifting never became a true, like, a true priority of mine. I always pushed it away first whenever something arose, or and I was like, oh yeah, like I just neglected my fitness in order to pursue other things. But now I'm in a period of my life where I can dedicate as much time as I want towards my actual passions. Like I kept pushing my passions away for things that seemed logical, and it's not like I regret it or anything like that, but it definitely opened my eyes to what I truly value, because then I was definitely living like a life where I woke up and I did something constantly that I did not have any passion for. Like I could do the job and it made me money. I was a software engineer with the Navy, and software engineering was, or rather, when I was going through even high school, to be honest, I never really liked any of the actual subjects, and I always put my time towards my extracurricular activities. The big one being sports. I think I've always been an athlete at heart, but I just never honestly made it that far, which is why I kind of reluctantly made the choice to pursue school more. Like, even during college, I pursued becoming a student athlete more than my actual grades. Like early on in water polo, I joined the club water polo team. I really wanted to make it to D1, but my prospects were not looking too hot. I was able to get recruited for junior colleges, but nothing D1, And then after that, I honestly pursued it for 2 seasons, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm probably not gonna make it, considering that when I had played against, or when I played with a bunch of red shirts from the D1 team, I already knew that I was kind of leagues behind where they are, and I decided to drop in. Instead, I joined rowing. Now, rowing in college for men is only a club sport, but it's an NCAA sport for the women. So, the men's club that I was in at the time, to be honest, was full of, people with different goals, because we're only a club team, a lot of people didn't really take it, super seriously. But I honestly, the whole time, was gunning for the top, And within my first season, as in not even a full season, because in the fall, oh my god, fall is more distance. I honestly don't remember the exact terms. I think the fall was a 5K, and then the spring was a 2K in terms of distance, and the spring was definitely more competitive to our club sport. Anyway, what I'm trying to say was that within one season, I had jumped up from being a complete noob to being on the varsity A boat. A varsity A, 8, And at the time, our open weight was honestly not that competitive. And a lot of it was due to I don't know what else to say besides just not everyone not being on the same page, a couple of us truly wanted to get the most out of the sport, but other people were definitely taking it more casual, especially those who had been rowing since high school and just were there for fun, they already knew that, or rather I kind of assumed that from the way that they did things that they weren't truly putting their all into it, and that's why I decided to leave. And then that's when I started powerlifting. Initially. I really fell in love with it. I think, unironically, the very first time I deadlifted, I pulled 400. I had never really lifted weights before until then. And I remember one of the guys I had met through Facebook saying like, yeah, no, you could definitely do this. And then COVID happened. And then I let myself go. And then ever since then, I've honestly been trying to crawl back towards becoming more lean again, you know, like bluntly as I stand. I think this morning I literally weighed myself at 286. I had started my weight loss journey at 300. So I'm making like decent progress. I think I'm like on week 10. My plan's honestly been going off the rails. I've had Korean barbecue 4 times in the past 2 weeks, which is terrible. Just like graduations and birthdays and Father's Day. Yeah, I celebrated Father's Day a little early yesterday instead, because this weekend I'm pretty booked with different things. Like, you know, today at night I'm going to work, and then tomorrow I'm going to Spokane. And initially I thought I was gonna get a media pass for Spokane, but they rejected me because of my size of following. But I had like I guess like someone who was affiliated with Spokane had reached out to me saying, hey, like you could potentially get in for free. I was like, oh, sick, but I didn't. So I'll still show up and support them. You know what I'm saying? And then on Sunday in the morning, I want to shoot. My plan is to shoot Muay Thai fights, just to get myself out there, you know, doing more event photography where things are like live action. Because my main goal is to really bring up my photography skills, to actually make them marketable. I'm fortunate that at my times at the track, people happen to buy my photos, you know, but I think it was definitely more of a chance thing. I had definitely captured one-of-a-kind moments that led me up to there, but I never really pitched myself in, you know what I'm saying? Especially because I was thinking like, oh, I'm just a novice. Even my very first time at the track, my very first time doing that type of photography, I got an offer. And I literally was like, hey, like, I'll give you like, oh my God. And no, literally what happened was, I was like, hey, like, I'll give like $10. $10 to call it a deal. And he literally raised the bar. He's like, no, your photos are so much more than that. I'll give you 60. And I was like, what? You know, and I guess that's when I knew that like I might have potential, when people were literally like okay with the price, you know, like even the second time I did it, I was still very new, you know what I'm saying? It's my second time ever at the track. And I happened to be the only one with their camera out at night, because I don't even know. But point is that I literally caught this car like on fire, like blazing through to the pit stop. And he bought 2 photos for, I think it was like $45. I don't know if that's a lot, but to me that's a lot, you know, as someone who's like an absolute beginner. Even now I still struggle to price things well. But anyway, at the gym, let's get inside. Sheesh, we in the stew, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Got my fucking campsite. Bro, you are not real so or you are not real swole. But yeah, I honestly really do take inspiration from him though for this kind of stuff. So it's kind of sick. Yeah.
Alright, not gonna lie, that last warm did not move how it wanted to move, or how I wanted it to move whatsoever. I'm probably not gonna go much heavier than that because I have a RPE 6 triple in the books today. Let's get to it. Oh shit. Not gonna lie, the squat triple is a bit rough. Honestly, it's been rough in general. I'm like trying to get lower to the bar, and because sometimes I kind of like find myself leaning forward, like on that second rep. And to counteract that, I've just been kind of having to really think more about like having more weight towards my heels, because I used to squat like a little higher on the bar, so like I didn't really have to think about it, to be honest. I'm honestly not even sure if this lower bar position is right for me. I might go back to what I used to do just because that's what I did, you know? But that was also because of adaptation from just lifting on commercial equipment where I didn't have as much adjustability. In addition, I didn't have weightlifting shoes at the time, so I guess you could say leverages have definitely changed a lot over time. So I'm still trying to get used to it. I have back down triples, so I lowered the weight a little bit by 5 kilos, just so that I can really dial in the form. I'm gonna keep trying the lower bar positioning, but if it doesn't stick with me, then honestly I might just go back. But it's definitely a little easier on the quads, just using more of my posterior chain to get this lifted up, and that works, because I'm gonna be honest, I think my lower back is pretty strong, especially because like of deadlifting. Yeah, honestly, these lifts have been they feel heavier at the higher bar positions for sure. But I should get down in the form. Let's get to it. Okay. And we're done with our workout. By the way, I mean, this was yesterday, but still, shout out Mike for this goated ass nine tails. Pretty sick, don't you think? It's the Japanese one too. I've actually never had a Japanese card, so I mean, I'm not like a big Pokemon collector. I used to play TCGs back in the day. Like I went to like regionals for Vanguard, but like nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy. The pacing is a little sporadic, but I just finished editing the short for literally the video you're watching. I'm actually going to be heading over to squat seminar at Kumkai right now. Before that, hopefully I have time to pick up the microphone. But I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out for the short. I tried framing everything a little wider, and in effect, it really allowed me to, I guess, not have any crops where the vertical is, because I used to have a problem where like all the clips would be too short, and then I would have to have like a blurred background. I think this looks a lot better, and I hope it really shows in the short on Instagram and TikTok. Alright, let's head over to Kumikaya. Alright, now we're at Kumikaya. We're about to start the seminar. I'm probably taking the phone on the tripod and just blast with questions. Let's get to it.
So if you're using a belt and trying to just like basically what's it called? Corset? Like using it as a corset to just squeeze your shit together, right? You're using the belt.
Having more air to expel as I went back up.
Okay. Good, yeah. As you should. Yeah. Now you're going back up.
All right, I'm just about to be late to work, so I got to dash now. Sorry it's so like abrupt today, but yeah, just gonna down a bunch of these like little protein things in a rehydrating thingamabob, and then yeah, that's it. Thanks for sticking around. Catch you later.